Have you ever experienced a crazy week filled with stress where everything in life seemed to be a little bit off? Well, the moon may be to blame for that. In fact, many health professionals dread full moons because they say that it is when the hospitals and other health facilities get extremely busy with patients and hectic cases occur a lot. Author Richard Neal stated in an article that the theory of the moon having an effect on human behavior is such a popular belief that it has even been given a name. It is called the Transylvania hypothesis. I am here today to not only explain why the Transylvania hypothesis is true, but to also explain the influence that it can have on everyone's lives. The effect of the full moon on human behavior has been a popular subject of study for centuries now. It is already a proven fact that the full moon has changed the conscious behavior of humans, and now researchers are looking into the possible effects that it may have on our unconscious behaviors. An example of the conscious behavior changes would be lunar calendars. According to NASA, some of the earliest traces of lunar calendars have been dated back to 32,000 BC. This shows that even before modern technology, our ancestors were interested and affected by the full moon. They chose to study it and to revolve their lives and schedules around it. Now, what about the unconscious effects? Well, we'll get to that. First, to understand the idea that the full moon alters human behavior, we must first clearly define and understand what it means to alter human behavior. As defined by Merriam-Webster, altering human behavior is the act of modifying or changing the way a person acts or conducts themselves, especially towards others. This means that if a person's behavior has changed or they are acting different than normal, then their behavior has been altered. This can come in many different forms, including increased sadness, stress, lack of motivation, aggression, irritability, and much more. To further prove that the full moon phases have an effect on human behavior, a study was completed by authors Tasso and Miller. This study, which was published in the Journal of Psychology, showed that many different forms of crime increased during full moon phases compared to the crime rates of normal times during the year. These crimes ranged from theft and assault to drunkenness and disorderly conduct. Aggression and irritability spiked during these times, and crime outbreaks were the result of it. Although not everyone goes into a criminal frenzy at the sight of a full moon, this study does show that aggression and other negative behaviors brought on by the full moon can have the ability to affect us all in one way or another. Now, some of you may be asking, why is this relevant to me? The answer is because the more we learn about the effects that the full moon can have on us, the more we can learn to prepare and cope with these changes. As I stated in the beginning, the full moon plays a large part in hectic and stressful weeks with work and personal life. Once you understand the Transylvania hypothesis, you'll be more conscious and have more positive control of your behavior during full moons. A PubMed article by Griffiths states that human behavior is constantly being modified. So who's to say that the full moon isn't to blame for these changes? I mean, if it has the power to shift the tides of Earth's oceans, don't you think it could have the power to influence us? Thank you so much for taking the time to learn about the Transylvania hypothesis with me. If you would like to access any of the sources that I have used during this speech, they will be linked below in the comments section. Thank you.